Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another beginner's guide. In today's video, we're going over the beginner's guide to Cell. This is going to be the most competitive deck you can build with just 2 Cell structure decks. So pretty budget friendly if you are brand new to the game. It's going to run you about $30, $32. So pretty good starting investment. So guys, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Hit that bell so you never miss a video like this. If you guys want to help support the channel, lots of ways you can do that. Number one, we got the Patreon down below. So if you are new to the game and want to get better, that is something I would definitely recommend. We've also got the Crossroad TCG merch store, lots of awesome stuff down there. And finally, guys, if you want to buy any of the cards you see in today's video, make sure to use my link to TCG Player or Bearded Collectibles to order your cards. All that stuff helps out a lot. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. With that being said, let's get into this. So we're showing off the Expert Deck Cell Leader, and it reads as follows. Auto, when this card is placed in your leader area, choose up to 1 Cell Games Arena from your deck, activate it, and you cannot activate field cards for the duration of the turn. So the fact that this card starts with Cell Games Arena in play, let's give Cell Games Arena a quick read. Energy Exhaust field, choose one of your Cell Junior tokens and remove it from the game. And there's a lot of ways this deck produces Cell tokens we'll talk about. When one of your Cell cards is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, choose up to 1 Cell card with energy cost of 9 or less from your deck or drop area, add it to your hand, then choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand and place it in their drop area, and shuffle your deck if you look through it. So we got a little bit of hand control going on there. We also have a little bit of searching for your different cells if your opponent removes your cards from the field. Let's get back to reading the leader. Activate main once per turn. Choose 1 green or yellow card from your hand. Place it under this card. Then choose 1 card in your life. Place it in your drop area. Draw 2. So you are, in essence, critting your own life, which does seem kind of bad on paper, but there's actually a lot of workarounds around that, and you do want to actually get certain cards to the drop area. So it's not really as bad as it sounds. We'll talk more about that later as well. Awaken, if there is a total of 4 or more energy between you and your opponent, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. So the really cool thing about this is you're going to be able to draw 2 on turn 1, which a lot of leaders can't do. Also, you can awaken every single turn 2 guaranteed, as long as you and your opponent are both charging energy. No matter who goes first, you'll be able to awaken on someone's turn 2, and that's actually really strong, especially because you draw 2 when you awaken. You also have the potential to draw 4 in a given turn if you can awaken on your own turn. So let's read the Awaken side now. Cell and Cell Junior Endless Supremacy. Activate main once per turn. Choose 1 green or yellow card from your hand. Place it under this card. Then choose 1 card in your life and place it in the drop area. Draw 2 cards. So if you're playing defense on your life, theoretically you can resolve this draw effect 7 times. But realistically, the game is going to be a bit shorter than that. So you might crit a bunch of your own life, and your opponent might do a little bit of damage to you, but there's ways to defend, which we'll talk about in just a second. So the other activate main once per turn, choose 2 cards under this card, place them in the owner's drop area, play 2 Cell Junior tokens. Cell Junior tokens have 10,000 power, so you can attack with them if your opponent's leader is unawakened. They have 0 combo cost and 5k combo power. So basically every single turn for free, you get 10k combo power once you're awakened. So that is a really good way to play defense on your life for sure. Now with that being said, let's get into the main deck here. So if we move the leader over a little bit, and now we're going to go to the rest of the main deck. So we've got 4 Cell Junior Minions Unleashed. Activate main if leader card is a Cell card, and you place this card in the owner's drop area from your hand or battle area. Play 1 Cell Junior token, and again, they have 10,000 power, 0 combo cost, and 5,000 combo power. So this is a 2-drop 15k. You can actually play this card and get a little bit aggressive with it. You could attack with it and then sacrifice it to get more Cell tokens. And in that way, you're keeping up hand parity because you can discard this card from your hand or the field, and you just make up a token that still has combo power. And then again, you can use it to defend your leader if you don't want to be taking attacks, so that you can then use your leader ability to draw. Activate battle. Choose up to 2 Cell Junior tokens in your battle area and remove them from the game. This is Pernicious Progeny, I believe it's called. So for every Cell Junior token you remove from the game, you can tap 2 of your opponent's cards. That's really strong because offensively or defensively, you can use this because it's activate battle. So you can tap your opponent's energy, you can tap your opponent's leader, you can tap your opponent's threats. This card is actually pretty nuts. Activate main, pay a yellow. If your leader card is a Cell, you can add this card to your hand from your drop area. Now let's get into the Cell chain we're playing in this deck. We're always playing a Cell chain in a Cell related deck. So we have our 1-drop Cell Genetic Consumption. He's a 1-drop green Union Absorb. Choose 1 Android 17 in your drop area and place it under this card. Then you can choose a green-yellow multicolor Cell, play it on top of this card in active mode. I don't know why you'd ever attack with this card, but you put it in active mode, and then you shuffle your deck. So that is our starter piece. Then we go into the 4-drop Cells. So this card is a little more complicated. Union Absorb for a green energy, choose an 18 in your drop area, play it under this card, then you play the 8 drop cell on top of this in active mode. Now this card you might actually attack with, so that makes sense. Its auto says if you have 4 or more energy, when this card is placed in the drop area from a battle area by a skill, aka successor, which we'll talk about later, choose up to 1 cell with energy cost of 8 in your drop area and play it. So you basically get another free body there. This cell chain is actually very, very good, and you can get into the 8 drop on turn 2 because you play the 1 drop for the 1, you Union Absorb, you pay another green with this guy to go into your 8 drop cell. But again, a lot of the effects in this deck will activate at your opponent's 4 energy, so you do want to keep that in mind as well. Our 8 drop cell, we've got Cell Perfection Misspent. He has an auto that says when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. And he has another auto that says choose one Android 18 card under this card and place it in the owner's drop area as a cost. When your opponent's battle card attacks, you can negate the attack, play the 4 drop cell from your drop area, and then play this card in the drop area. So you can see how the 18 and the cell and the 4 drop cell all kind of go in and out of each other. They allow you to recycle the different cells in the deck, which is pretty cool. Again, I mean, anytime in a deck you're doing things for little to no energy, you're doing something right, that's for sure. So we do have to play some number of 17s and 18s. So we've got 4 Android 17 Impending Crisis. Counterattack, negate the attack, and play this card. If your leader card is an Android card, when you play this card, choose a 1 battle card with Android in its name and send it to your drop area. So you do want to get this into the drop area very, very early, but again, you might not be doing the cell chain until maybe like turn 3, turn 4 if you want to wait for your opponent's 4 energy turn so that you can then use the full effect of the cell chain. So you can credit off your leader. There's another way to get to the drop area, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But of course, we do need to also play Android 18s. So we've got 2 Android 18 under your skin. She is a 4 drop 20k blocker. Pretty decent stats, but the activate battle is actually really good. Once per turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So she's like a 4 drop that essentially stops 2 attacks every single turn. And offensively, you can tap cards. You can tap cards and then attack them if you want to. So on defense, you block an attack, and then activate battle, you tap another threat. So that's really, really good value there. Then we have 2 Android 18 Imminent Danger. She's a 3 drop 15k, activate main, pay 1 energy if your leader card is an Android, and you place this card from your drop area to your warp. Choose 1 green or yellow Android card with an energy cost of 1 in your drop area and add it to your hand. So you can recycle the Cell Genetic Consumption. You can recycle the Android 17 Negate if you need to negate an attack or be a little bit more defensive. So that works out really, really well. And we do have 2 more Android 18s in the deck. This one is from far, far, far in the future. We've got Android 18 Bionic Blitz. This is 2 of our 4 super combos. If you guys are new to Dragon Ball Super, you are always going to play 4 super combos. I'm actually playing 2 other super combos in this deck that we will talk about in a second. But her auto is if your leader card is green or blue, which our leader is green. When you combo with this card, your opponent places 1 card from the deck to the bottom of 1 card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. And it is an 18, so you can combo with it, make your opponent lose a card, and then you can Union Absorb with it. Our other 2 super combos, we've got 2 Dr. Gero Progenitor of Terror. So this card's really good because it helps you get your androids to the drop area when you need them to be there. Whether you need the 4 drop cell in there, whether you need an Android 17 or 18, this card just kind of helps you make plays. It is kind of unfortunate that it doesn't actually like change up the advantage between you and your opponent. Most super combos either draw you cards or make your opponent lose cards or untap energy nowadays, but this card is kind of essential for certain combos you're going to need in the deck. Now we do have our big boss monster, and this is why I think this deck is so cool. It's basically a Gohan versus Cell finals match. This is super dope, but SS2 Son Gohan, Wounded Victor. He is an 8 drop triple striker. Now you might think, when am I ever casting an 8 drop? Well, with the ability of Successor for a green, a yellow, and a colorless energy, you can sacrifice any number of battle cards whose battle cost equals up to 8. And what do you know? We have an 8 drop Cell in this deck we can drop as early as turn 2. So that works out pretty well. He's a triple striker, so he swings for huge damage. Auto once per turn when this card attacks. Choose up to 1 yellow Son Goku card in your drop area and combo it with this card. So we do have a Goku here that we're going to show right now. We've got 4 Son Goku Valiant Breakthrough. So he's got a lot of effects here. Auto when you combo with this card from your drop area. Choose 1 green yellow multicolor Gohan in your battle area and switch it to active mode. So that's how you're going to get 2 attacks with the Gohan we just talked about. Activate main if your opponent has 4 or more energy, and you have a Cell in play in your battle area with energy cost of 4 or more, you can play this card and then tap one of your opponent's cards. So this is another way to get into the Successor. So you can either Successor off the 8-drop Cell itself, or you can play this next to the 4-drop Cell, and then you can Successor that way. Likewise, one of the cards I would recommend for this deck, if you happen to get it or want to buy it, is the Cell Xeno SCR. That is a 12-drop Successor that you can drop using this and the 8-drop Cell in this deck. So just keeping that in mind, I wanted to mention that. Next up, that was pretty much our main deck's engine. Now we're going to cover some other good utility cards. So we've got Hellfighter 17, the Neutralizer. Now, unfortunately, this is not a regular Android 17, so you cannot use it for unit absorbing. But I'm actually a huge fan of this card. So he's a counterplay, and during your opponent's turn, reduces energy cost by 1. So he's a 2-drop counterplay in your opponent's turn. When you play this card, or it is placed in the drop area by a skill, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skills for the duration of the turn. Now, if you do come from Yu-Gi-Oh, let's just say, you might be a new player from Yu-Gi-Oh, this is not quote-unquote Effect Veiler. In this game, your opponent's enter play autos will go before yours, but if your opponent has a powerful card that gets an auto from attacking, or if your opponent has like some type of lingering effect, this card is really, really good against those types of cards. So as a counterplay that comes in the structure deck, I think that the Neutralizer is very, very good. Then we've got Android 20 Vile Creator. When you combo this card, if the attacking card's an Android, it gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So that huge 8-drop I mentioned that we drop on turn 2, you can make it a 25k double striker. That works out really well. Now for the last few negates we have in the deck, we've got 2 Light Bullet. Light Bullet's really good. It's almost like a Flying Nimbus if you guys know that card. So negate the attack, then you may choose 2 of your battle cards and switch them to rest mode. Then your opponent can only attack with 1 more battle card for the rest of the turn. And this deck, you spam the Cell Junior tokens. So with that in mind, you can rest them, use the effect of Light Bullet. That works out really well. Then the last 3 cards in the deck, we've got 3 Shocking Death Ball. This is an awesome reprint that comes with the deck. It is green's Sparking Negate. So if you have 5 or more cards in your drop area, which you will get easily with the leader, you can use this card by taking a life instead of using energy. And when you do negate an attack with it, you destroy a 2-drop or less battle card. So pretty high value there. Now, in terms of other cards you might want to add to the deck, I did mention the Cell SCR. You might also want to add the Annie Laza quote-unquote check land. If you're already charging green-yellow energies, which you should be in this deck, Annie Laza comes down for free in the energy as long as you have another green-yellow energy available. You could also look into the other Cell Successor chain if you really wanted to, because you do drop an 8-drop Cell in this deck. You do have other 1-drops in this deck. So Successoring into that 9-drop Cell to look at your opponent's hand and rip 3 battle cards could be very, very good. But guys, overall, that's the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new out there, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.